A rehabilitation home or halfway house for people coming in and out of jail. That's not what we're on. That's not what it is at all. I just wanted to make that part of it clear. That's not what we're doing. We're trying to help people in the same way. We also have kids that surround in the neighborhood. You never hear from them. You never have problems out of them. They come, they go. They drive, they go. I don't see kids walking around the neighborhood at all through there. Probably ever so often you might see a couple kids, somebody walking a dog or something. That's how it's supposed to be. That's how it would stay. We're not trying to open up where, oh yeah, now you got hoodlums hanging on the corners and drinking alcohol. No, that's not what it is at all. Everybody just have the wrong understanding of what we're trying to do. You're saying it like it's people coming from jails and bad backgrounds. That's not what we're trying to do. I used to be one of those kids that I had the proper help, and I've done pretty well with myself behind it. And I just really wanted to help some more do the same thing. Sometimes all people need is a little guidance or a push, you know what I'm saying, to get to where they're trying to go. I had it, and I done well with it.
Thank you, Mr. Franklin. Any additional questions or comments from the floor?
Hello, so my name is Dana Posley, and I'm a Farm Trace resident as well too, actually on Farm Trace. So my question to DCFS is, if she is approved to become a facility, how easy is it for her to become one of the other categories? Then for the commission, my question is, if it is approved, this amendment for transitional housing, again, what is the definition of transitional housing per the law? What actually is the definition of transitional housing? Because with that being said, once it maybe try to pass, then that opens up the door for way more than what she's asking for. Then on top of that, at any time she can decide or change her mind about who she wants to accept at her facility, in her home. So what guarantee does the neighborhood have that you're gonna keep it to that age group? Because we don't. You can change your mind at any time about who you hold. Just like your husband just said, there's no definite time frame on when you'd be able to move from your home to another facility. Those are too many unassurances for the community at Farm Trace. So those are my questions. I had a few of those.
Thank you. Can you address the question, Mr. Ward?
And thank you for that. You asked a very good question, the last question, but I don't remember her first question.
My first question was to the.
No, in regards to
Yes, my question was, once she's approved for one type of facility, can she be approved for the other types that you described, because you described 3?
Okay, thank you very much.
Under the same umbrella, so.
Okay, thank you very much. So, licensed child welfare agency can, as I said, run a foster care program, a group home, or a transitional living program. Yes, they can do all 3. However, when she is licensed as a child welfare agency and she submits her information to the department stating that she's going to open a transitional living program, not transitional housing, there is again a tremendous difference. DCFS does not offer transitional housing. The child welfare agencies offer a transitional living program that helps youth 17 to 21 develop independent living skills. Once that information is received by my team, that information is posted with is published in the newspaper that this program is going to offer transitional housing. At no point, if she decides to open another type of program, she would have to publish to the community and say she's going to do a different type of program. So she would again have to come to you guys and notify you of what she's doing. Additionally, if she, when she submits her information and stating that she's going to accept youth 17 to 21, that's who she has to work with. If she wants to alter the program and add more aggressive youth, she would have to publish to the community and let the community know what she's doing. So no vendor can arbitrarily change what they've already submitted information stating what they're going to do. So to explain in-depthly, the Child Welfare Agency must contact the federal government to get an EIN number. They must contact the state government to get to be an established business, and they have to come to the local municipality and get approval for that business to be run. Once they do that, they also have to have a board of governors, a governing body, and that's made up of 5 individuals who are not related to her, who monitor the Child Welfare Agency and everything that goes on at the Child Welfare Agency. In addition to which, Ms. Franklin has also provided us with information that she's going to have staffing 24 hours a day. She also has to create a budget plan, a meal plan, all of which is documented with the state. And any changes to that, she has to notify the department of any changes she wants to make to her Child Welfare Agency and whatever changes she wants to make to her independent living program. So I think that answers both questions that they had for her.
Thank you. There was a question.
Oh, yeah, that was my, I did have another.
That was the same question.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually, ask for Mr. Ware to help me with this one, because what we described as transition was based off the information that he sent us. Mrs. Franklin referred to the use of a transitional home. I believe that the home is just the facility in which the transitional living program occurs, and so for us, it's a transitional home, and based on what she described in her petition for youth, by her description and by the policy of the DCFS, that age group is 17 to 21. And so, in terms of the correct wording to define it, if there were an ordinance coming forth to allow this, we would vet this with the village attorney to properly define it. But I would say that we would look at the DCFS guideline and how they define the use as a lead. And then, the board can deliberate as to how they want to change that definition, so that if they were to allow it, let's just say, this is all we want to allow, and they have the authority to do that as a home rule community. So that's the best session I can give you as of right now. You would really have to refer to the DCFS policy and how they define it, which Mr. Ware, can you find that, because it's in your file?
Yes, it's a child welfare agency that's running a transitional living program, so it's not transitional housing. Transitional housing is a term used by the Department of Correction when they transition people from DOC into the community. A transitional living program helps youth 17 to 21 develop independent living skills. So that is going to be the difference in what your lawyers are going to look at, is that if these youth are being taught independent living skills within a home, and it's no different from any home that any of you have. And as Ms. Franklin already stated, she could easily foster children in her home at that age, and she can foster up to 21. If you 20 years old want to be in foster care in a home, she can actually do that, and it would be without the permission of the municipality, and without all of everything that's going on. But the term accurately, and what the lawyers would stick to, is a transitional living program.
Madam Chair, just while we still have Mr. Ware, I would just for a point of clarification, given what he just stated in terms of as a foster parent, you can facilitate children in your home without this process. What is the difference then?
Ms. Franklin is applying to have a child welfare agency. So the difference is, if she wanted to be a foster parent, then she would become licensed with either DCFS or a private agency and they would go out to her home, inspect the home, make sure it's up to licensing standards, measure her bedrooms. I believe you have a 4-bedroom home, so 5-bedroom home, so she and her husband have 1 bedroom, so that's 4 additional bedrooms. Daughters, so 3 bedrooms. We would measure the square footage of the bedroom to see how many youth could stay in that bedroom. So depending on the square footage, she could house 1 or 2 youth in 1 bedroom. So that would be the difference. A foster home is licensed through DCFS or Child Welfare Agency. A transitional living program is run by a child welfare agency, a licensed child welfare agency that's decided to do a program to teach youth 17 to 21 independent living skills.
Thank you for clarifying.
You heard from me before.
Madam Chair, people come up to speak, and we have to give everybody that wants to speak the opportunity.
Sure.
And there are other people that want to.
Somebody else want to, I'll be more than happy to yield.
Go
Yeah.
ahead, go ahead. You're doing great, you're doing great. Go ahead.
Hello, my name is Jermaine. Once again, yeah, that was the last one, sorry. Okay, all right.
Can you restate your name? Sorry.
Yes, my name is Jermaine. I'm new resident, last name Warren. Like everyone said, I applaud everything you guys are doing. I don't have anything against it. My only concern is when you're dealing with another Department of Human Service, then you're dealing with Emergency Health Human Service, the funding. If you do your research, for the last recent years, they've been cutting funding for these type of programs. So my only concern is once you house them and funding start to get cut, what do you do with those individuals? That's my question. Because it could cause detrimental to those individuals we bring it in. Then once the funding is cut, we push them out.
Ms. Franklin, if you could respond in the podium, please, to the question.
As far as funding go, we haven't received any funding. So, and we also have other properties, you know what I'm saying?
If we cannot interrupt, please proceed or somebody.
No, I was saying that we have other people are looking at it like, why won't you go? I have a property in Country Club Hills. I have a property. Okay, well, I'm just saying we're not looking, if the funding doesn't go, we'll work something out. We're not here to push nobody out. I work, she work. We're not trying to push nobody out. We've been helping people regardless of what the funding has been. We've been doing this already. So it's not, we're not looking for it based on what the funding is. If the funding is cut, the funding is cut. If the funding cut into house, our kids are still gonna eat. So that's how it is.
Madam Chair, just for the record, Madam Payne has stepped out momentarily. She will return, but we just, for the record, let her know that during this time she's out of the meeting. I just want to speak to, I think, the question, because I don't think the question was asked. And so, the first question should be, do you receive funding from the state for housing of children?
No, we haven't.
No, not, you haven't. If you approve, will the state be paying you money per child?
Yes.
Okay, so the question is, if that money, if their budget cuts from the federal level down to the state level, and this program is impacted by that, and the funding goes away, what will you do if that funding is, for that program is cut?
Yeah, if you can approach.
So all of the youth that would be in an independent living program are wards of the state of Illinois. So the state of Illinois are responsible for the youth in the home. What that means is, the question implies that the child welfare agency would have to deal with that and supply it. the state of Illinois are responsible for the youth, so if they cut the funding, then they would, remove the children.
Any additional questions or comments from the floor from anyone who hasn't spoken?
Hello, my name is Yolanda Williams. I am a resident of Farm Trace, live on the on Maryland Drive. Been in the area since 2007. I applaud you all for what you're doing. The only issue I have, and I'm voting no for this, or that I don't agree with it, we're trying to get a zoning change, correct? Is that what they're trying to do, get a zoning change? So I'm not for the zoning change, because again, once you open that door, you're opening it to everything else. Because if that's the case, then we'll just transitional house ours and we go move somewhere else. I love our neighborhood. I love Farm Trace. I like to walk the neighborhood. I'm walking around in the back. I jog. I like my neighborhood, and I just want it to stay a good, nice neighborhood. We do have crime. Don't get me wrong. We have criminals running around, coming from other neighborhoods like Park Forest and other areas. And again, I still love our neighborhood, and I just wanted to keep it that way. And another thing, a comment. For me, it's like going to the bank. When you're asking for something, you should at least present a business plan. There was nothing presented on the board. I know you're speaking for your heart, but there is a lot of questions that if you would have presented something as a business plan, maybe a lot of questions would have been asked. And it just seemed like we're going back and forth. A lot of questions you all don't know, and you're relying on DCFS, Mr. Ware, to answer the questions that you all should already know. But again, that's just how I'm feeling. But other than that, that's all I have to say.
Any additional comments or questions from the floor?
Yeah, you got two there.
Go ahead, sir. Please.
Go ahead.
Please.
I'm not going to need all 3 minutes this time around. I do have a question for the village. If this whole process were to go through to the end, is the provision being given to the individuals or to the property? And if it is to the property, does that give that property a fair advantage, the rest of the properties in the area a disadvantage? And the second thing is, pardon me, maybe I might be a bit presumptuous reading your own words here, but this is from the village website about the considerations and the requirements for special use and zoning. And there are several stipulations. I like the first one, and the first is always first for a reason, because if it's not satisfied, then you don't need to go any further. The first one states, it says, the designation of special or rezoning of any lot, parcel, or tract of land within the village may be proposed by village president, village board, planning commission, village property or business owner. The following criteria must be addressed to the satisfaction of the village planning commission and the village board prior to the special use rezoning approval. The first one, which, like I said, I'm fond of, says, the proposed special use rezoning will not be detrimental to the public health, safety, morale, or general welfare of the village or its residents. And I believe that this condition needs to be satisfied before we can even discuss the rest of the conditions right here. So I just wanted to just point that out and to have my question answered, which is that property getting a fair advantage over the rest of the properties in the subdivision, or is it the provision being given to the individual who petitioned? Thank you.
Good question.
That's for the village.
Thank you
The
for,
former commissioner for planning and zoning should answer this.
thank you for asking your question, sir. One, what the commissioner is being charged with tonight to consider is a text amendment only. It is not considered a special use permit. Going through the process, if they recommend, whether they recommend in favor or not, it still moves forward to the board. again, the board is ultimately the decision maker. But let's say they decided that they would approve this use and amend the code. That would then require the applicant to come back and file a special use petition to have a special use permit to operate the transitional living facility out of her home. So this is just step one in the process. Right now, they can't even apply for it.
But is it the property, is it the parcel or the individual? Because the word it says parcel.
This is parcel.
Let me speak from what I know from a historical perspective, and this is mostly what, it's a very good question, which I'll have to get an answer for you. Special use permits typically stick with land. So if I give you a daycare center, for example, if we've approved a special use permit for a daycare center in town, they close, someone else could acquire that property and open up a new daycare center.
Correct.
So
So that does give it
in that regard,
advantage. That is a disadvantage. That's what I'm
it's a
saying.
disadvantage.
Sure.
But I also want to say that up until a year ago, the village did not have home rule authority where they can craft laws that they see fit to the benefit of the community. And so what I'm giving you is history based on practice and limitations of being a home community from the past up until a year ago. But that is an excellent question for you. But so that you've asked that question, we will get an answer so that when this comes to the board, that question will be answered.
Good. Thank you.
Yes.
Go ahead, thank you.
So my question is to the commission as well too. So if you all give the recommendation of approval, saying that you're gonna take it to the board, if it then is passed at the board level as well, so it passes you guys, you send it up, they pass it. When it comes to the wording, because you did say that there is a transitional housing, is that what you said? Just to clarify. Okay, living program versus housing. Is that going to be specified? Because in the same way she is looking to do with DCFS, she can do the same under that umbrella to actually get the housing of whoever does it for, I guess, the Department of Corrections. So that's what my question is. Would it be as specific as transitional program versus transitional housing? Because from my understanding, those are two different entities. So I would ask that you would follow up on that one as well too, and consider that when you make your decision on whether or not you want to take it in a recommendation to the board. Thank you.
Staff, you want to respond?
Sorry.
Any response to the question?
So again, as I mentioned earlier, like this is new. Our conversation around this has been transitional living at my home, and that's why we coined the term transitional home for you. Given everything that's been discussed here tonight, the input that Mr. Ware has given us, the input from the homeowner, we will take all of this back to our attorney to discuss if we were going to do this, what would be the proper definitions given the concerns of the citizens, so that when we're presenting to the board and we're saying, board, if you're going to do this, based on what we've heard, this is how we think you should craft the definition of that particular use.
Thank you. Are there any additional comments or questions from the floor?
I have one. My name is George Dillon again. I see a concern because one thing you say you have two other residents. Are you using those for temporary living facilities also? No, sir. Are you planning on? No, sir. But you could if you wanted to.
Yes, sir. If you could complete your question and then it can come to the podium, so it's fine.
That was my question.
Okay. You could approach the podium, please.
I flip houses, sir. That's what I do. I buy.
If you could.
I'm sorry. We purchased and flipped houses. Kept a house for ourselves. kept the house. But yes, that's what we're doing. We purchase houses, rehab them, flip them, sell them. I was just answering this question.
Are there any other questions or comments?
Mario Williams again, and the last question,
If you could approach the podium, thank you.
Mario Williams again, what do we need to do as stakeholders, neighbors, to make sure this doesn't pass? What can we do? Because I'm hearing that basically it's up to you guys to send it up to the board and they make the ultimate decision. So is there anything that we can do to ensure that this does not pass? Because we don't want
So, again, this is a public process. The reason that you were sent notices is to invite you in so that you could provide.
We can't hear you. We were not sent notices, by the way. Yes. We love this group of the neighbors. We never received right around.
No, I didn't get nothing. I didn't. There were notices mailed to everybody.
No, there were not.
Whether or not you got it, there were notices mailed.
I got notices from all my neighbors.
Excuse me, if we could be respectful, please, if we could please be respectful on the floor. Staff, if you could.
Regardless as to whether they were mailed out or not.
If we could please be respectful, ma'am. Excuse me. Ma'am, if we could just follow the process. Staff, if you could answer the question, please.
I'm not gonna give away the question. What do they need to do?
Go ahead, thank you.
As long as how you stay informed, but that's right. So statutorily, the village is required to post a public hearing notice in the local paper 15 days prior to the hearing. That was done on July 27th. It was posted in the Chicago Tribune, Southtown edition. We have a copy of it. Ma'am, I am trying to explain to you what we are statutorily required to do. That was done. Last week I had staff mail a public meeting notice to every resident in the Farm Trade subdivision and every homeowners association, because this matter would not only potentially have impact on farm trades, but it could impact any residential community in the village. The use is not specific to this individual petitioner. The use is specific to the village in its entirety, or whatever zoning district that it would be approved in. So those went out. Given the fact that all these people come here tonight and we ask you to sign in and leave your name and address, I can tell you now, but we will always send you another notice. The board will meet and discuss this matter at the September 8th meeting. All these meetings are public meetings that you are welcome to attend. There's public comment offering during every board meeting. So the same that you spoke here tonight, you could also do the same at the September 8th board meeting. Some of the things I've seen communities do, either for or against a particular issue, is collectively they collect petitions with their position and they get signatures and they provide that to the village. So that can also be shared with the board.
The board will be here September 8th.
The board will be here September 8th.
Thank you.
No, the Board of Trustees is a 7-member body elected by the general public. We are
Can't be
with the board.
What time?
Any additional questions or comments from the floor?
Yes.
They were gonna make that decision once we finish with public comments.
If you can approach the podium.
Again, my name is Chandra Williams. So the next meeting is September 8th, right?
What time?
So the meeting is at September 8th at 7 o'clock. So will the residents of Farm Trades, will we be sent any information? Because a lot of this today is word of mouth. I myself, on my block, contacted 9 of my neighbors, none of which who had received a letter about today, didn't know anything about this. So a lot of this is word of mouth, and I'm looking at a lot of faces who I saw people out watering their grass, pulling garbage cans back in today, and I was like, oh, by the way, did you know about this? I don't know anything about it. So will we be informed in the future so that if the other Farm Trades residents who were not able to be reached, can they be informed that this is what's going on, this is what's proposed in our neighborhood, so that they can have the right to come and voice their opinions and their concerns about what is expected to come into our neighborhood. So will they be mailed anything regarding the next meeting?
So the request has been made, so yes, we will. But I would ask you to please sign in so that we have your information to send you the notice.
So I did sign in, but I just want to make sure for those people who we were not able to get today, because a lot of this is just word of mouth from today. So just to make sure those other people who are not aware of what's going on are made aware. Because if I have to go door to door myself and do it, I will. I mean, and that's how strongly I feel about not having this come to the neighborhood.
Good evening. My name is Daniel. I live in Farm Trace as well. One of the things that someone asked about what we can do, we're doing it now. Our voice is being heard. They make a recommendation, and so I think it's important that we stand up and make our voices heard. So then the board meets monthly, and we come out to the board meeting again to make the recommendation. We have to hold our elected officials responsible. We have to hold our commissioners responsible. I commend you all on what you're doing. I ask, or I wonder if you are going about it, or you could go about it in a different way, in terms of maybe partnering with churches or organizations that already have facilities in place to do this. The concern of a resident is that where this looks like the trajectory of it could go, could be impactful in a negative way. And I say could, I don't know. And that's the concern that everyone I think here has, right? And so they're concerned about their property value going down. They pay high property tax. I think we all are saying that the same thing. We're just prolonging the process tonight. So we make our voices heard to the commission. The commission makes a recommendation tonight. We can hear the recommendation, but I also just I do want to commend you for what you're trying to do, but I think maybe explore other opportunities and possibilities that where facilities are already in place to do that, maybe not necessarily in the neighborhood where you live, because of the issue that the residents have, and I'm sure you probably have the same concerns, and a lot of people don't know where the program could scale, whether it's in a positive or a negative, and that's the concern of the people, I think. So, but I thank you for my time.
I was speaking to Mr. Stockdale in great detail over the past several months, and I am allowed up to 5 unrelated people in my home. So this is no different. The only difference is now is that we're making you aware. So if I didn't need to be licensed through the state with DCFS, I could house these people in my home and you wouldn't know, you know, and if this is not allowed, then I will absolutely become a foster parent, and this is what is going to happen. This is my right to become a foster parent, and I can, and I, when I say this, it saddens me that, you know, everybody is against, and I understand the concerns, but we have a liquor store and a bar from the expressway all down South Trail, and, you know, I've seen incidents, and I've been outside of the bars when there's incidents, and, you know, it's in our neighborhood and it's allowed, and that's okay. So I'm just saying that if I were to house and have my relatives in my home, no one would know about it because you wouldn't have to know about it. So I'm just saying that, and I do understand the concerns, I do understand the safety issues and, you know, what everyone is concerned with, but if I was, you know, I will become a foster parent because this is what's in my heart. This is what God has put on my heart to do. So this is what is gonna, you know, this is what I'm going to proceed with.
Thank you, Ms. Franklin. Are there any other questions or comments?
Ms. Wilson, Ms. Wilson wants to speak.
If you could approach the podium, please.
Carol Wilson, resident of Farm Place, nurse for 42 years. And that statement that she made, the very last statement, was a threat. That's right. What you don't if you don't let me do this, then I'm gonna do that.
That's right. That's what she knows what you're saying. That's right. Are there any other questions or comments from the floor?
I have one. Let me just say this. Let me get it off my chest. Again, my name is Marcus Chapman. I've been a resident in Richton Park since 1995. Okay? I've lived in Michael John behind here. I've lived in Graham Builders on the other side, and now currently in Farm Trace. I've moved 3 times and came back to Richton Park, raised 3 children. My wife's a doctor of nursing, has been in this industry for more than 30 years. We've been married for more than 30 years. I say all of that to say that while we are here contemplating going around the circle on the same topic over and over, the truth of the matter is it's on you to make a determination to move this forward to the board. You've already approved a jailhouse environment with fencing with barbed wire for other residents in another community, which I do not reside in. However, I own property over there. My point is, it's still your decision, not ours. You are deciding this. Many of them don't even live in Richton Park. Okay? My point is, you have to decide. With one recommendation from a neighboring community that is unlike Richton Park, you approved fencing with barbed wire in Richton Park. I'm paying $400,000 for a house. I'm offended. You're my neighbors. And I have to live with this as I'm driving down the interstate, as I turn Salt Trail onto Steger Road. I gotta see this? Come on, guys. If it's about money, we have to find another alternative. If it's about us raising our children as a child advocate, coaching Richton Park football, basketball, baseball here in this community for more than 20 years. 2 college kids played ball in college from this program here. I'm not worried about crime. We have it. It's here. It's not going anywhere. Am I afraid of it? No, I sit outside my driveway every damn day, smoking a cigar, having a cocktail with my friends, waving at every one of these individuals that drive down my block. I'm not afraid, and I refuse to be scared going forward. So I commend you for what you do. I'm from Dixmoor. Whether you know what that is or not, I'm telling you, bro, it's the gut. And I went to an Ivy League school. I believe that there's an opportunity for all of us. And we'll welcome the opportunity to help others get that, but not at my cost. Not at my cost. And I am asking you guys to make a determination, not what is being shuffled through by others on what we should and should not do, but based on where you live today. Say no for a change. Say no.
Anybody else? I'm sorry. My name's Anthony Martin again. I'm a former vice president of Farm Trace Homeowners Association. We had a good one. It dissolved many years ago. I hope through this, some of those that live in Farm Trace will decide to come together and let our voices be heard. Because I know you hear our voices. This initiative that we're talking about, and I say initiative, is a good initiative, but not in Farm Trace. The people, you know, that's in the Constitution somewhere. It says, we the people have said no. And if I was a good statistician, I'd look at the people here who, like me, I didn't get any notification of this meeting. My wife called me at work. I was busy taking care of business. She says, you're gonna have to eat on your own because I'm going up to this place. I said, well, I gotta change clothes, but I'll be there. But I hope that in the future, we let all the people know what the issue is. And the issue, in my opinion, if I was a good statistician, I would say that this is reflective of a big no. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Real quick, my name is Paul Sims. I'm a resident of Farm Trace as well. I like to say this. I applaud both of you for what you're doing. I want to say this. My brother spoke very passionate a second ago, and I want to say this. Is there a building that the village owned that you could provide them some assistance for what they're trying to do? There's not a closed down church in the area. There's all these buildings. There's nowhere we can provide them a space to do what they're trying to do in the village. That's all I'm asking. We obviously don't want it in Farm Trace, no disrespect. But is there any place in the village that you can assist and work with them and do something? I'm just asking. Instead of asking us to bear all the burden, how about you help us bear some of the burden? That's all I'm asking.
Thank you. Don't ask someone.
The village doesn't have any current real estate that it would entertain this use for.
Thank you. Are there any other comments or questions from the floor? Well, I thank you all for your comments and questions this evening. And with that, we will close the public hearing. And I will now open the matter for discussion amongst the commission. Does the staff have a report that they'd like to present?
This commission was provided a report, again, not to be repetitive. What is being asked for consideration this evening is consideration of a zoning text amendment to allow, and I'll say in generic terms right now, until we provide further definition, a transitional living facility for youth. And what would be based on the address of the applicant, the single family SF1 district, which is their neighborhood is all zone SF1. So that is the ask, to add it as either permitted or a special use. That is at the discretion of the commission. Again, the commission has the discretion to vote in favor, then you have the discretion to vote against. When you have the discretion to table this for further discussion for additional information that you may want in order to make an informed decision. But all you are considering tonight is presenting a recommendation to the board on whether or not you're in favor of allowing transitional housing for youth as a permitted or special use in the SF1 district.
Thank you. Any questions or from the board?
No.
No.
No. I'm sure you got a bunch.
I try not to ask anything that's already been discussed tonight. Okay. For our applicant, I do have just a couple questions. And I think this might have been touched upon a little earlier, but I guess, what is your understanding of the housing that you are requesting? The reason I ask is there are quite a few discrepancies between what you presented and then what DCFS explained to us tonight. So could you just elaborate, if you're fully familiar with the process that you are seeking,
Well, when I presented it to the village, when he reached out to DCFS, I think is what they said, that it was a transitional living home. But researching and doing the program and having some one-on-one with Mr. Ware, my understanding is that I want to be licensed with DCFS, and it is a program to help with independent living. So I say transitional housing because I am providing my home in support of the youth. But by law, in terms, it is a child welfare agency program. So in regards to the license, I am still providing them a home, a stable home in my residence. So, to me, it was the same, transitional living home, but in legal terms, it's a child welfare agency program.
For our DCFS representative, I did have a question I just needed some clarification on. You spoke about if Ms. Franklin, if they decided to, that they were able to, under the child welfare agency, as a child welfare agency, they could take advantage of some of the other categories that fell under that. And you talked about providing notification. When you say providing notification, is that an FYI to the community, or is that an approval process that they go through in order for those changes to happen?
So as I understand it from the rule, it's notification is allowing the public to know what they're going to do, and the public does have an opportunity, like you guys are doing tonight, to respond to it and say no.
But if the public says no, they're not asking the public, they're just notifying the public.
Yeah.
Okay, so we could say, the public can say no and they can still proceed.
Well, no, that would be up to you guys, because if you like what's happening here, the public is saying
well, I'm
no.
speaking in terms of if this were to go through and if the board were to approve it, and then they were operating as a child welfare agency, and I apologize if I misunderstood when you were talking about the notification earlier, but if they were operating as a child welfare agency out of their home, and they decided we don't want to just do transitional living, we also want to do one of the other options that a child welfare agency can do. You talked about they have to give notification,
yes,
and that notification would be published. That notification, is that just an FYI, or is that notification for approval either from?
Yes. So it's the same process.
To which question? Yes, to which question?
It's notification for the approval,
So if we made a text, if they were approved for, if we allow for the zoning for a child welfare agency or transitional living, if we approve for that, and then they were issued a license by DCFS, and they started out as transitional living, a year from now, could they say, we also want to offer item B that is available under as a child welfare agency? You said that they make a notification for that. Again, is that notification an FYI, or is it, we want to do this, we need approval, whether from DCFS?
Yes, they would still need approval from the community.
From the community.
Yes.
So it's dependent on what our amendment would be.
Yes.
That's what it sounds like.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. That's the reason we do notification, so the people in the community have a right to say yes or no to the program.
Okay. Ms. Franklin? Yes. You talked about your staff members, and you used volunteers, the staff that would be assisting if you were to open this in your home. This is not paid staff. Is that not required by the state for it to be staff with certain requirements?
Well, initially, because everybody that I have on board is I have a doctor of nurse practitioner who's my best friend, master's in social work, who's my best friend, a master's in community counseling, which is my cousin. So initially, these are all people that's gonna come on board, be in the home 24/7, adult supervision at all times, these are people that are gonna volunteer services until they can be paid, if that makes sense.
Madam Chair, may I ask a question?
Sure, Commissioner.
Ms. Franklin, I have a question for you regarding your rotating staff that are volunteering, and you said 24/7. So that means that they're going to rotate.
Yes, 7 to 3, 3 to 11, 11 to 7. This is my home. I still stay in the home. My husband is in the home, along with all the other staff that will be in the home 24/7. There will never be a time where there is no adult responsible supervision in the house. Not ever. Not ever.
Okay, and then also the ages of 17 to 21, providing transportation, making sure they're going to school and work and church. How can you ensure that?
You said how?
Yes, how?
With my staff, with my own personal vehicle, a van that I am going to purchase with my own money, hiring drivers. My uncle in Chicago has a transportation service who's also going to be providing services. We have his brother has transportation service where he picks up the elderly and he takes them to and from their doctor's appointments. So again, I have a whole team of individuals who are absolutely going to volunteer services until. So there's going to be staff 24/7, transportation 24/7, volunteers, people coming to provide basic skills, computer training, resume writing. All of this is going to be provided in this residence.
As I stated earlier, Ms. Franklin is a new vendor. And with all new vendors, they present the department with a packet of information. And when I read through the packet, I let them know, yes, no, you can do this or that. And Ms. Franklin has misunderstood what a transitional living program is. So we don't have adults living in the home with our youth. That would be a foster home. So she would not be allowed to live in the home with the youth. The youth would live, she can have staff in the home, but they would not be allowed to live in the home because that would be a foster home and not a transitional living program.
Thank you for clarifying that.
That's big. Yes. All that's for nothing, you're right.
Are there any other questions or comments?
Again, like Mr. Ware said, I will be in the home 24/7. I will be in the home 24/7. There will never be a time where this home is not supervised. I will be in the home 24/7. My husband will be in the home 24/7.
If there are no additional, excuse me, I ask that you please be respectful of as we proceed with the meeting. If there are no additional items to discuss.
Madam Chairman, I got a question.
Sure, go ahead.
If
Commissioner Ryan, go ahead.
Mr. Ware said that they can't be in the house, and they are saying that they're going to be in the house, and I can understand that with their kids, being in the house, but you can't have both.
That's right.
Why are we here? Pardon me? I just asked a question. Why are we here?
I didn't hear the question.
You said you're going to be in that house 24/7. Your husband's gonna be in the house 24/7. Mr. Ware just stated that you guys cannot be in that house 24/7 because then it's gonna be a different item.
That's correct.
It's a different
Right.
ranking, whatever you wanna call it.
So as a child welfare agency worker, I will be in the home, or someone will be in the home 24/7. As a child welfare worker, I can provide my services as a worker, which I will be in the home on a shift, okay? So I'll take the 11 to 7 shift, but someone will be in the home 24/7.
I'm not denying that. I'm not denying that point. You said somebody's gonna be there 24/7.
Yes, sir.
I don't have a problem with that.
Right.
I agree. What Mr. Ware said and what you people are telling us that you're gonna be there 24/7, that cannot happen.
That's right.
So,
Right.
she's saying that wrong. Because, understood, again, like I said, we have 4 different properties that we own. So, we don't have to be in that house living there. The house, there will be, what she's trying to say is that someone will be in that property 24/7.
And I don't disagree with you at that point. But what she just stated was that she was gonna be there 24/7. And that you were gonna be there 24/7. And you have other people that are gonna be there during different shifts.
You are absolutely right, sir. I can't be there 24/7, I work. She can't be there 24/7, she works. What we're saying is that someone will be in that property.
I think that the contradiction or discrepancy that we're hearing is tonight we heard that you guys will be residents in that property. Based upon what Mr. Ware saying, that's not a possibility.
No, we won't be residents in that property.
Okay, thank you for clarifying. Thank you for clarifying.
No way.
So initially,
If we could please.
Quiet, let him talk.
Any other questions?
I'm good.
Comments? Nothing else from the If there's no other additional items, on this matter, from the commission, in regards to the text amendment for PCV 2025-07 for, an amendment to section 3.2 of the Village of Richton Park Richton Park zoning ordinance for the purpose of allowing, and I think we can correct this, say child welfare agency, transitional living, as a special use within the Richton Park SF-1 single family district. I would like to entertain a motion to approve, deny, or continue for discussion at the next meeting. To clarify, I would like to entertain a motion to approve, deny, or continue for discussion.
I make a motion.
What is your motion, Commissioner?
PZC 2025-07, the public hearing will consider a proposed tax amendment to section 3.2 of the Village of Richton Park's zoning ordinance for the purpose of allowing transitional housing, quote unquote, as a special use within the Richton Park SF1 single family district.
Is that recommendation to approve, to deny, or deny?
Me?
Yep.
Denied.
It's only a motion, y'all. It's only a motion.
Commissioner Ryan
Second.
raised the motion. Commissioner Payne seconded that motion. Amanda, take roll call.
Commissioner Evans?
No.
Commissioner Payne?
With the notice for, to deny.
Yes.
So you want
Yes.
yes
Yes.
to deny?
Yes.
Okay. We will change Commissioner Evans to yes to deny. Commissioner Payne?
Yes.
Commissioner Ryan?
Yes.
And Chair Baines Lewis?
Yes.
Yes to no.
Motion to deny the request, however, part of the request.
All right.
Order, please.
Part of the process, the commission has made its recommendation. That recommendation is a no to amend the code. That recommendation will be forwarded to the Board of Trustees, where the matter will continue discussion at their September 8th meeting.
Proceeding with our meeting.
And I've been here so many years. I've lived in Richton Park for 39 years. Yeah. Right across the street.